ये मैं हूँ? He said, हाँ बिल्कुल. I said, नहीं, this is Indira Gandhi. He said, आप वैसे ही लगोगी. No column of mine ever looked at and said, wow. I mean, wow. I feel very proud to say I've never skipped a deadline.
Do you have to work for that kind of a romance?
Suvir, you're being so unromantic. I like unpredictability a lot. I said I've changed my mind. Life is about improvising.
So when you look back, what do you regret? Thank you, my insatiable, amazing friend Shobhaa, for being here. Shobhaa, you are from Satara, Pune, but that's the footnote to your story. You are insatiable in many ways. Your hunger for life, your incredible journey. Where did it begin? How did you become Shobhaa De, as we know today?
Gosh, that makes me sound like some freak of nature. I think we all are born with a certain genetic code, which you can't always fight, though a lot of us wish to fight it at some stage in our life. I'm asked this and I never have the right answer for it. How did you become Shobhaa De? I didn't become a construct. It's not a product I
You're still
became
becoming.
or a brand. No, not at all. I mean, this is the person I am. Take it or leave it. It's not about becoming anything, at least for me. It's the paths you take, it's the choices you make, it's the opportunities that you get, it's the people you meet along the way. All of that defines who you are. And particularly, I think it's the choices you make. And I think for me, that one single word, choice, is the most important word in anyone's vocabulary, particularly a woman's vocabulary, because she doesn't always have agency over herself. And choice is denied to 99% of women. So at a very young age, if you decide that no matter what happens, the choices that you make are going to be yours alone, and whatever comes with it, the responsibilities, the pitfalls, the failures, all of it belongs to you and you alone. So I have always tried to stand by my choices and never look for an alibi. If I have failed, it's my failure. If I've succeeded, I've done so on my own terms and with my own definition of what that goal is. No one has told me that this is where you have to get, or no one has picked me up actually when I've fallen, because that again it has been an informed decision. It's been a choice I've made. It's not society telling me something. It's not my parents or anyone telling me, oh, I wish you hadn't done that. You shouldn't have done that. Of course, regrets are all a part of all our lives. I don't think, apart from Frank Sinatra, anyone can claim regrets. I have none. It would just make us lesser beings if we have no regrets. You should look back on life and say, okay, I could have done that differently. And that's what makes life uncertain, exciting, and completely unpredictable. And I like unpredictability a lot. I find that's a trigger.
So when you look back from this moment past, what do you regret? Any?
Well, a little bit, because I've just watched a film that moved me a lot. The one that's won quite a few awards this year, called The Brutalist. And many, many years ago, I'd read a book that had moved me equally. That was Atlas Shrugged. So I think my generation grew up...
Fountainhead and Atlas
Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged changed a lot of us in so many ways. You're much younger, but certainly
they were important seminal.
Very, very important milestones in terms of making you think. Ayn Rand, but thinking about individuality. And Howard Roark was the architect in The Fountainhead. And in The Brutalist, it's the person who plays the protagonist is a Hungarian-born architect, a fictional character, but so real. So if you are asking me, architecture is a very powerful draw. It's magnetic for me. It's something that's so overwhelming because, as he says in the film to the person who's kind of tormenting him, trying to put him down, he's a refugee in America. And you know how America treats immigrants, particularly now in today's America. I think the film was a very political film in what it was saying, the subtext. But it was the architecture and the way it's been photographed. It was just breathtaking. So Architect, yes. Photographer, definitely, because I love the visual medium. I love seeing people rather than being photographed myself. I like to photograph people. People in particular, not monuments, but people. And light is everything in life. Light as a metaphor, and light when it lights up a person, lights up a situation, the light you see, the light you choose not to see. Light makes or breaks a photograph, a movie, a person, anyone.
And do you think those cracks in our being that bring in light, are those essential to have? I think so, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. It's the title of a film too, right?
Oh yeah, the light related or something like that.
Something,
Yeah.
that recent movie.
Yeah.
So I'm like a bit of a movie fanatic, not as much as
A
a lot
big
of
movie fanatic.
I love movies. They just tell us so much about ourselves. Even the stupidest film tells you something about yourself, because why are you watching it?
When you were young, were you studious?
No.
So where does this discipline of waking up every morning, writing with a lot of alacrity, a lot of discipline, length of time, how did you build this, manage to do this?
I was not studious because I found studies extremely monotonous and boring. So I was more, in my school days, I was a champion athlete through school and college. So my focus was out of the classroom. I enjoyed art, so it was always looking at something outside the window of my classroom and wondering if I could paint that. And I did a lot of that. I have a feeling I could have been borderline dyslexic because I cannot count. I need my fingers and toes to even get to 20. So the question of being studious, I've answered you. I didn't like academia. I enjoyed my college years for reasons other than studies. It was the first time I was interacting with boys after being in an all-girls school. I was playing basketball with some very good-looking young men in college. The coach was a very good-looking Iranian gentleman called Mr. Qureshi. So for me, it was a kind of freedom of a different sort. I wasn't conforming to discipline the way my parents would want me to. And the discipline that you speak about is something that is more a very strong sense of commitment to whatever I undertake. It goes with it. If I've chosen to be this person, if I've chosen to write, if that is the vocation that appeals the most to me, and there are deadlines to meet, and for the last 53 years that I've been writing in the public space, I feel very proud to say I've never skipped a deadline, whether it's through pregnancies, it's through all of that, childbirth, my son's recent marriage. I didn't skip a single deadline through sickness or family members, my own. It was sacred to me. So that's commitment. And yes, discipline goes hand in hand with that.
And is commitment overrated?
Commitment is non-negotiable. It's not overrated at all. I would rate it as one of my top qualities that I find worthy and admirable.
Gongli.
Gongli.
Your commitment, your person. Tell
Yes.
us about Gongli.
Gongli is, in so many ways, she's my alter ego. She is so much like me. She is, this may surprise you, aloof. I mean, all
But
that
you are. I think you are.
Yeah, I mean, I think I guard my personal space very closely. I'm not
You're not an open book for everybody to
Not
read.
at all. I'm very, very, very discerning who I give access to. And so is she. She can sense, she can read people, she can read a room. I think I'm pretty good at that from a pretty young age. I can walk into most spaces and feel the vibration. She's intuitive, I'm very intuitive. The people she doesn't like, most of the time I don't like either. So often I trust her instinct and it just confirms my own. And she's non-intrusive, non-needy, non-demanding.
Are you talking about Shobhaa or Gongli?
Both of us. Both of us. Whether it's in our friendships or in love, we don't ask for too much. We just ask to be respected and left alone to decide ourselves how much time we want to give the other person, how much of ourselves we wish to share without disrespecting the other person. I think she's a lot like me.
Isn't it sad that women haven't gotten this most basic of privileges, where society has always made life around them all encumbered and caged and restricted, and it's not fair. What do we do to change this?
A lot of women are actually happy with it. They're not fighting it. So those women who
But that
accept
doesn't
it,
mean they're happy sometimes.
I know a lot of women who it's a chosen role. Now again, it's back to choice. Role. Well, a husband also chooses to be a husband, right? It's a choice. Or a boyfriend.
But you said choice. Yeah.
So choice. A woman who actively opts for that, wants to be a homemaker, wants to be a wonderful mother to her children, a good partner to the person she's with. I have no argument against any of that. I would support it all the way. I could see that in my own mother. It was not something that was imposed on her. It's what she reveled in. It's what she loved to be. But sometimes now, as I'm much older, I think about her inner life, whether she had one at all. I'm sure she did. She was highly intelligent and extremely, almost uncannily and eerily intuitive. She could read, especially my closeness to her, she could read me before I had a chance to even read my own feelings about a person or a situation. But so that indicates to me now that there was a very rich inner life which none of us bothered to tap into. And that's a great loss. We never really asked her, what is she feeling? Maybe they had private conversations, my father and she, but that we are not aware of as children. But in our presence, it was always what was presented, like a feast.
My mother was the same way.
Yeah.
But I see in my mother a very fulfilled woman.
Yes.
Because I think she finds peace in that. Because
Yes.
she's enriching herself every minute.
Yes.
Reading, writing, painting, singing, all kinds of things.
Yes.
In private. She's very private.
Yes.
So what you're saying is there can be a very fertile inside.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean they're unhappy.
But my mother didn't have any of those avenues. She was not creative in that sense. She didn't write, she didn't sing, she didn't paint. She never indicated that she wished to do any of those things. So the question of giving her those options didn't arise. She never actually actively said, this is what I want to do. All the possible options that she might have exercised were taken over by my father or the children later in our lives.
So my mother says, she said, Baba, when you were being raised, I had no option. You were my full-time jobs. 3, 4 of you.
Yes.
My father being the 4th, the home being the 5th.
Yes.
Now she has the avenue.
Perhaps then my mother never got that chance because she passed before my father. So we'll never know.
And my mom has been a widow for 16 years.
Yeah.
Or lost my dad.
Yes. So I will never know, and that's one of my big regrets. And the other big regret was that the only time I felt I was not receptive to exactly what she wanted was a few days before she passed. And strangely for her, she'd fed the family with so much love. Her entire life was about making sure we had a good hot meal on the table, cooked by her. And then I asked her a few days before she passed, just like that, I said, what do you feel like having for dinner yourself? And surprisingly, because it's primarily a vegetarian home, we're Maharashtrian, primarily vegetarian.
Brahman.
Yeah, the Brahmin whole thing. And she said, I'd love a tandoori chicken. It's so unlike anything I could have imagined. So I was a bit puzzled. I said, tandoori chicken? She said, yes, from Delhi Darbar. She even specified where it had to come from. And I immediately made sure that I went there. I ordered it over the phone, and I said to the driver, please go and pick up full chicken for mother.
You were excited beyond excited.
Well, also surprised because I knew she wouldn't even. I was almost certain.
She never asked for anything.
Never. She'd never indicated, and she'd never suddenly got up and said,
I want interest in anything.
And that too, tandoori chicken. I mean, had she said puran poli, had she said jalebi, something that she fancied, like a basundi puri, I would have got it, right? I would have understood, though she made the best herself. But that she's craving that. Tandoori chicken was not a part of our diet. I mean, we had it, God knows what.
Did she eat it happily?
No, that's the story. Because when it came, she looked at it And she was extremely let down and very disappointed. So I asked her, I said, why? She didn't even touch it. She didn't want to eat it. She was too weak in any case to enjoy it or eat it. I knew that. I knew it was
You were
more than
indulging her,
indulgence.
yeah.
It was like a visual indulgence, not really something that she could consume. So I said, why don't you want to eat it? Why don't you want to even taste it? And she said, it's not the chicken I imagined. I said, what had you imagined? She said, they've cut it.
Oh, she wanted all of it.
She wanted to see the
whole roast chicken.
The whole chicken. And it was too late to reorder it that night. And the next 2 days she was gone.
Oh.
Yeah. So I always felt, what if I
But
had...
you gave her that moment.
It was not enough. For me, I'll always kick myself. Why did I not understand? And that's what she wanted.
You gave her enough. I think somewhere there, my mother's the same. She never said, "Meko ye khana hai, mujhe wo chahiye." But every now and then she said, "Papa, I want a pizza today." And it's my happiest moment that she's craved something.
Yeah.
Because she never craves.
Yeah.
She's too puritanical, almost like
yes.
nothing. She needs nothing in life.
Nothing. Exactly like
so
my
your
mother.
father, I've heard, is the opposite of Shobhaa De and lived to be a 90-plus man. And I'm told he was charming. He was the life
Very
of a
opposite.
party. And no, not you are the life of a party.
No.
But he was
but you're
different
right.
energy, I'm told.
Yes.
Dilip told me this recently, that your dad was something else. I'm told, like as magnetic as you, but in a different way. Tell us about it.
Well, we weren't friends for the longest time till I turned 40. It was very confrontational.
Because you were independent-minded and you thought for yourself.
I mean, my siblings were very conformist, and all the dreams that he had for his children. My brother became an engineer from Kharagpur, one of the early batches of electronics engineer. My sister became a gold medalist, no less, an ophthalmic surgeon. The other one did her MA, did her LLB, did all sorts of wonderful things. And then there was me, and he wanted me to appear for the civil services exam. And I said to him, quite rightly, I think, I said, how can we do this to the civil services? How can you really see me as a district collector in Dhule? I mean, what about the people of Dhule? I can't do this.
They would have been very happy, I think.
No, I said, it's just out of the question. I don't want to appear for this exam. I'm not going to appear for it. And I don't want to do this. And I said it very firmly. It was not something that we could talk about. And that was it. I mean, I think he wrote me off and he said, well, then do what you want.
20 years of freeze.
Well, yeah, it was sort of not a very pleasant way to end an adult conversation. And after that, I pretty much did exactly what I wanted, and not always with his approval. And it was a relationship which was, yes, like I said, confrontational and argumentative.
But you did get close towards the end.
Very close.
And he was very proud of you, Dilip told me.
Very close, but after 40. After I'd somewhat redeemed myself, I guess, in his eyes.
How did you get to Paris?
The Air India calendars, a lot of them which are so iconic, were shot by the top fashion photographers of the time, most of them French or British. And they were shot here. I shot in Mount Abu, I shot in Jaipur, Jodhpur, Udaipur, Kashmir, Delhi, Agra. Yeah, a lot, almost all my work was shot entirely and exclusively in India. I didn't go abroad to shoot.
And here in my
fantasy.
Brain, I thought they'd taken you also there.
No, it wasn't even an option in those days. It would have meant, as it is, modeling itself was a huge battle with my family. Now, if I were to tell them I'm off to Paris to shoot, they would have physically thrown me out. They've given my bag and said, out you go.
When they saw you on the covers, what happened?
Nothing. They were completely blasé. I mean, they said, oh, it's okay. It's nice. Oh, not even. It was, and it's something that in a way, I'm so glad that nothing any of us ever did was considered, oh my God, look at where my children are taking us. I mean, I'm so proud of my son. I'm so proud of my daughter. I'm so proud of my surgeon daughter with a gold medal and who's worked in the Royal Hospital in Muscat. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. Nothing. It was just something taken so completely for granted. I prefer it that way. I mean, there was restraint in their emotional displays of pride and joy, which I think kept us grounded. Our feet were firmly
working harder on yourself.
Definitely. I mean, there was no overkill. I mean, and today's lingo of almost everything being awesome and everything being awe-inspiring. Everybody is amazing and awesome.
Are they really?
No, of course not. I mean, mediocrity is called awesome, and completely talentless people get breaks and they're called amazing. So I think we are too over generous with our compliments. We need to have higher standards. For ourselves to start with. Nothing that I've ever written, and 27 books later, I can tell you that, or no column of mine ever looked at and said, wow. I mean, wow. I think it's amazing.
Do you have fantastical dreams? And do you ever note them when they happen?
I have an extremely rich and vivid dreamscape. Even this morning, I was dreaming. It involved my daughter Arundhati. It was a very adventurous dream. And when I wake up, I always try and recall the last dream. And I spend at least 5 or 10 minutes before I actually get out of bed. I love my dreams. I note some of them, not all.
So you do note some of them?
Well, I journal. I've been journaling since the age of 14. So the dreams come in.
So there are stacks of books that are your journals. Have you kept them all?
I've kept most of them. Nobody is interested, even remotely, not even my children.
Yeah, they're so private.
Not even that. I actually, since you asked the question, I don't believe in legacy. I don't believe in keeping things for after you're gone. I mean, once you're gone, you're gone. There's a finality to it that I like. So when people ask me, how would you like to be remembered and so on, it's such a meaningless question. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. That I'm alive, that's the whole point of life. To live it while you're living it. Like right now, I'm looking at your jewelry and I'm mesmerized. I'm looking at the embroidery on your dupatta and I'm mesmerized. I'm looking at your green eyeliner, I'm mesmerized. I'm thinking, I wish you'd sing for me. I love your ring. I love your gold shoes. For me, this is the moment. What happens, later, even after I leave this particular interaction, get into the car to go home, then I'll be in that car going home and looking at the sunset or whatever is around me or listening to street noises till I get home.
Advait Vedanta. There's no duality. This is it.
Nothing. This is it. We don't know literally whether we'll wake up tomorrow morning. So what's the point planning it and thinking about it and waking up and feeling disappointed that, the day is not going to go exactly as I want it to go. Nothing ever goes exactly the way you want it to go. So why preempt something? Why not improvise? So I like improvising. So I'll give you a small example. We were at a very foo-foo function a couple of nights ago, and I said to my husband that I don't know that I want to stay. It depends. If
I know which function.
Yes, we won't even say it. Lips are sealed.
I was filming here, so couldn't make it.
I just said, we'll figure it out once it's over, which I know it's going to be deathly boring, but we don't have to endure the rest of it. We don't have to stay to dinner. And so literally we came out and he said, should I call the car and should we go home because we had dinner at home? Then I looked around and 2 people interested me who I knew I would be meeting upstairs at dinner. And I said, no.
Let's go for dinner.
No. So, no, he had already called the car. So I said, so what? So he said, but you just said you wanted to go home. I said, I've changed my mind. Life is about improvising. Nothing is scripted. Nothing
and then you wrote
is
a
scripted.
glowing thing about the dinner. Yeah, how amazing.
The dinner was amazing. Because
you said it.
It was so good. And so creative and so well presented. It was aesthetically so pleasing also.
So Mr. Day, Dilip Day, what a man. And every day, every time you see him, he's outdone himself from the previous time you see him. You dress him up, don't you? A lot of his...
Well, I'm not saying... I haven't said it, remember.
But
I enjoy men's clothes much more than women's clothes. I can put myself together in under 3 minutes regardless of where I'm going. I don't plan it, I don't think about it.
But his eyes sparkle when he sees you.
Oh, that's good.
That romance is epic.
It had better stay that way.
Do you have to work for that kind of a romance? Both sides?
How can you work for it? Suvir, you're being so unromantic. What do you think? A woman gets up and says, guess what?
No, both ways. I said both ways.
I'm going to work on this, I'm going to work on this. Let me see how romantic he's going to be today. So let me lure him with something. No, it's like Lycra. Either you have it or you don't. Either you are romantic, which he is, I'm not. I'm prosaic Maharashtrian, he's a romantic bong. So there is that balance. There's
Could
a
I see his
yin
eyes
and yang.
sparkling? He looks at you and I know he's so excited that wo meri bibi hai.
Well, good.
Does he show
Never.
express his love?
Expresses his love, yes, but does he pay compliments? No, he's so busy looking at himself. Never. Whenever we're going out and I emerge and hoping he'll say, nice sari or something, he'll ask me, are the cufflinks? See, I've matched them with the watch. It's exactly what he did at that function.
So, saris.
Saris.
You have an incredible collection of saris.
Yeah.
And you've modeled saris beautifully. What does a sari mean to you?
It's the perfect garment, plain and simple.
Why?
Because, it's 6 yards of imagination and magic. You don't need a structure. You need your body to drape it on. And you can drape it in whichever manner you choose. I like to wear it traditionally, but I also like to wear my kashta sari, the Maharashtrian way. In the
Like
right,
a dhoti.
like a dhoti. I've done it for the previous weddings in my family. It's limitless in terms of textures, weaves, embroideries, colors, drapes, what you combine it with, how you look in the same sari. I mean, I've got saris going back 50 years, which I can still wear and I love wearing today. And they'll never look the same again. It's like a rag, you can't play the same rag and it can't ever be identical. Each time you'll be adding something to it or maybe taking away something from it. But each time you sing it, it's a different rag. You've made it your own that moment. In that moment, it's yours and it's different. It's the same with the sari. I just feel it's that perfect.
What does music mean to you?
Oh, it's the soul of all our beings, I think, without even our knowing it. You don't have to be musically tutored. You don't have to be a maestro. You just have to feel the music, any music. And I don't believe there's any human being in the world, even animals respond to music. It's something so primal.
Do you have music for meditation, music for relaxing, music for amorous times? What music do you have? What are your favorite kinds of music?
No. I'm too restless to meditate. I've tried and failed.
But we can meditate in different ways.
No, music is not for meditation. I lose myself when sometimes I weep and cry. Certain, it can be even music from a movie. For example, when M.F. Hussain composed that Qawwali in Meenakshi. I mean, the minute Anna, she knows how to get me. If I'm feeling whatever I'm feeling and she knows she has to press just one button to get me out of that feeling, she plays that Qawwali and I am I'm immersed, I'm lost, I'm drowning in it.
You forget everything.
And when Hussain Saab told me about how it was composed and how it's so poignant, the composition, the moment where it came to him, he's written it, the words are his, and Rahman set it to music. Other music is what you dance to, like Tauba Tauba still gets me. It's not out of my system. I love it. I mean, I love the idea of that. It was so cheeky. And I thought Vicky Kaushal was just so brilliant. But this Ui Amma has not touched me the same way. I just find it fun. But it's not Tauba Tauba.
What is a memory and what music is associated with Hussain Saab painting you? You being his muse.
Yes. I don't know. Well, it's very kind of you to say, but he painted, I think, only...
He wouldn't have painted you if you weren't his muse. So
yeah, he's only painted, I think, 3 portraits of people.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's a lovely way to think of myself as his muse, but it's too arrogant to even assume I was that.
Don't worry about that, but what do you associate with it?
Oh.
And how gorgeous you look in that painting. Oof.
I don't think so. I look like Indira Gandhi. It's not a gorgeous picture of mine. It's how he saw me then. He saw me then and I said to him, Hussain Saab, ye main hu? He said, हाँ, बिल्कुल. I said, nahin, this is Indira Gandhi. He said, aap वैसे ही लगोगी. We had that relationship and it was always full of fun. हाँ, आप वैसे ही बनोगे. आप उनकी personality, आपकी personality कितनी मिलती जुलती है. You're not identifying with it now, he said, but you will because you're going to grow into that.
And are you growing into Indira Gandhi?
No. I hope not. I mean, but why not? I admired her a lot. So it was a great compliment. He meant it as a compliment. So I take it as one. I don't know. I didn't pose for him. So I can't really say what do I associate with. I didn't sit there and say, Hussain Saab, meri tasveer khichiye. He did it on his own. He was inspired. He did it. He came home waving
Did it for Devi and did it for Shobhaa De and two other people.
He did it for Madhuri, who was his true muse, and a lady called Rashta in Delhi, who was his love of his life. He's done multiple portraits of hers and Indira Gandhi.
And, and Devi. And Devi. He did that series on the Devi.
Devi is Devi. It's not a human.
But I'm saying, but how lucky you are that you all were painted by him in form.
Extremely blessed to be, for him to. But we were actually, we were very close in a lot of our emotions and thinking and the way we could connect, his sense of humor. We could be at a large, really dull art function and he'd look at me across a room and we'd smile and I'd know what he's thinking, what some of the other people in the room, and he'd know what I'm thinking. And post that, we'd have a quick little gup-shop about all of that. So we connected in many, many ways, and on a much deeper level as well. You know, he was a true artist in every sense of the word.
When you look at
he lived his art.
When you look at Dilip Day's portrait of you, what do you think?
It's a portrait done by a man in love. But with Hussain Saab, it was certainly not love. It was a kind of friendship that was...
an admiration.
That was wonderful. It was just... I mean, for example, to watch him cook. Now, did you know that he cooked?
You know, when he came to my home in New York and ate a meal, I cooked for him. He painted and gave me a drawing that I said was, and the lady behind me said, "Oh, main le leti hu." I was being modest and coy, and I got such a dhap from our friend who was hosting him, you know, Rajesh Khanna's sister who lived there, and she said, "You idiot! I told him to paint for you," and he said to me, "He cooks." And he appreciated every little note in every dish.
To see him, to watch him cook, and like
I didn't have that good luck.
No, I watched him cook many times, and like you, he used to be humming all the time when he was cooking.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He was not singing aloud like you do, but always humming. So once I watched him paint the entire day. He said, "If you're not doing anything, aa jao, aa jao." So I was not doing anything, which is quite rare. And Pandol, which was at wherever it is, even now they changed the location at Flora Fountain, and he was painting the Raj series. It was a very large canvas, I mean, almost the size of this wall behind us. And he started to paint to Beethoven, and and that was playing in the background, and he was humming. And he was painting with a very, very long brush because he couldn't reach the top of the painting. He needed that brush, which was almost 2.5 feet long. And then as he progressed, then he said, "Chalo abhi chai piyenge," because he used to drink tea and he liked it in a particular way. He liked his tea. He was very fastidious. And then he took a nap in the car outside, which put the seat back because he was tired. He's well into his 80s then. And I said, okay, I was chatting with the Pandols. He came back and he resumed his painting, but by then his mood has shifted. So the colors changed and he started listening to Bhimsen Joshi. So from Beethoven to Bhimsen Joshi, and you could see the transition as he painted.
In the work. So Bhimsen Joshi, Pandit Jasraj or Kumar Gandharv? Who would you pick? Bhimsen? Because he sang Abhang or kya?
The Abhangs are something else. They move you to tears, but you should never ever watch Bhimsen sing. It was like a man in agony. He pulled too many faces. Jasraj was beautiful to watch and a romantic singer. There can only be one Bhimsen. There can be maybe I shouldn't even say that. There could be another Jasraj down the line. But Bhimsen I see as unequaled and unrivaled. Like Kishori Amonkar.
She was something else.
Just to hear
in
her
every
sing,
way, from anger to performance,
everything. Yes, if we have the time, I'll narrate a very funny incident.
Please, tell us.
So it was an interview we'd done with her when I was editing. And my journalist had gone to meet her, where she ran her school, where she had all her students. And she came back and she wrote a wonderful piece, absolutely superb piece. I mean, who can fault Kishori or her singing?
Impeccable, the queen of notes.
Queen. So, but she wrote, when I met Kishori Amonkar, the sky did not fall down, neither did the earth rise up to meet me, was that girl's opening comment. And then I thought that was, and then she revealed Kishori's age. I didn't know it was a state secret, or she should have said it, right? She didn't say it. So she called me and she was in a rage, Kishori, and she said, you have to come to meet me. I said, kaise aapne likha hai? She was absolutely livid. So
But she always was for something.
She was
or the
always
other.
livid about a lot of things. But I thought I owed it to her to calm her down and to go and meet her. Otherwise, I've never ever gone to meet anyone. I mean, it's if you don't like what we've written, it's too bad.
Too bad.
Yeah. When I meant to meet her, she was so. It's fabulous what she did to demolish me. In her entire, all her students were there, all reverential and dumbstruck in her presence, of course. So she called me and she looked at me. She tucked her sari into her waistband, and then she looked at me and she said, आपको सब लोग सुंदर कहते हैं. So I said nothing at all. आप लगते तो हैं TB patient. Just like that, I actually burst out laughing. I said, I'm so sorry to disappoint you, Kishori Tai.
And how did it end?
It ended very well. So she told everybody that seeing her, how she looks, this TB patient who people call beautiful, I'm going to go to the kitchen and I'm going to make her pure ghee ka shira, which I will watch her eat in front of us all. She will have to eat it or she will insult me by not eating it. So she went to the kitchen.
But what a good gift she gave.
She did. It was brilliant. And that, food can disarm anyone.
And you love food.
I love food.
Insatiable.
Insatiable. Yeah, for more than just food. But it just broke everything down. And then I talked to her and I said, but Kishori Tai, what was it that actually upset you? It can't be the opening line. It can't be the whole article.
Age and all of that.
No, she said it was my age. Then she turned to the students. She said, she's revealed my age. You tell her, do I look my age? So it was vanity of a kind that broke my heart.
She was very vain.
It just broke my heart. She said, Mala Bug in Marathi. She said, look at me. I'm beautiful. Do I look my age?
Mala,
no.
me?
Mala, look at me. Mala Bug. Look at me.
And Zakir Hussain, what did he mean to you?
He was adorable. I wanted to hug and kiss him each time we met. And I did. Gorgeous, but apart from that, so modest. Given his genius, he was absolutely remarkable. And what he'd lived with through to come into his own despite
the father and everything.
The father, the grandfather, to come into his own, to take Indian music, percussion to the rest of the world.
And their face.
And to share it.
Did you ever hear Manik Bhide? Ashwini Bhide, you know.
Yes, I do.
Her mother.
Her mother.
Was Kishori's student.
Yes, no, I have.
And what do you think of Ashwini, since we're talking music?
A great performer.
I love her.
I love her.
And a scientist and a singer in one.
Yeah. But, I mean, is she Kishori?
No,
she's not Kishori.
There'll be no Kishori. Veena Sehasra Buddhe, but we lost her too young.
Yeah. But would have been. So we
lost her too young.
We don't.
So, Insatiable by Shobhaa De.
Ji.
This book is, you've lived a life that teaches people of my generation. You taught us how to live. You told us it was okay to dream differently. You told us it was okay to think differently. You told us to have love as we wanted to. And it was okay to have love and sex and have fun and enjoy growing up. Where did you get this sense of being able to not only see it for yourself, but also make it okay for others to be normal?
To contradict you a little, and I hope I do it elegantly without giving offense, I didn't mean to teach anything to anyone. These books are not written as textbooks or manuals for living.
Of course.
They're meant as my voice and definitely for sharing, or I wouldn't be writing books at all. I'd be writing a personal diary for myself. That they're shared across two generations certainly, makes me feel good. Because reaching a very young audience in India today, they're far more critical. But I feel they have embraced me and my work with an open-mindedness that I didn't at all receive from my peer group, because you never receive that from your peer group. They're the first people to tear you down. To answer your question, where did the openness in my own life come from? It was certainly not from the family. It was certainly not from my peers, because even when I meet my own school friends, most of us, at least 3/4 of the people in my class are no more, which is so tragic. So when we do have the rare reunions, I just think of our shrinking numbers. But even they, I wouldn't say, they still judge me, you know, so many years later. So it's something I think you feel or you don't feel. You feel that sense of complete, you want to embrace the world in all its complexity and diversity. It's not something you make, it's not a decision you take. It's
No, but did
what
you have
feel.
icons? Like, you've become an icon for so many younger than you. Did you have anybody you could have looked up to and said, okay, I'm okay thinking these things, I'm okay being this way? Because you've normalized it for others. Who did you have?
You know,
Or did you have inner fortitude that brought it out?
even the term normalizing it suggests a judgment which I don't like. I never thought about it. I just accepted, and that's the best way to live. That really is, because I remember as a schoolgirl, my school, the Queen Mary's, which is right next to Congress House, the old Congress House, which is right next to the
Kamatipura and all that road.
Kamatipura and the dancing girls
I
at
used to go
Congress
to
House.
Congress House to save women. I thought every night, give my father's hard-earned money कि वो नाचेगी नहीं मेरे जाने के बाद.
But that's
And they would
very
sing ganas for
idealistic.
me.
No, I made friends with them in a very
They were
different way as a
amazing
schoolgirl.
people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think so much of what I learned as a schoolgirl was from them. And no one even knew I used to hang out with them, because I didn't go home and say, hey, you know, I've just come back from Congress House or from
How
the
could you?
dancing
They
girls.
would be like-
Because it was on the way to my bus stop or to my train station. And I just became friends with them. And I'd go there and they'd give me chai in the
They
throwaway.
sang the most beautiful
They
old
sang,
Thumris, Dadras.
and they wouldn't dance for me, because they were waiting to get ready, because it was their time to get ready. Then the limousines would start coming to collect them to go to the evenings where they were booked. But I became friends with them, and I think that gave me an incredible insight into a parallel universe, which I would never ever have enjoyed.
Insatiable is 1 year in your life. We have a new book coming out end of this year. Tell us about it.
Well, the new book is called The Sensual Self. So it's really it's a kind of memoir of the senses, not just physical, tactile, but so much more. It's memories. It's the ras of living, of life.
Ras of living.
I hope so. I think so.
Your writing has all the ras, and it makes people feel. Does it ever burden you that you have to live up to the expectations of so many like me who adore you, put you in a pedestal? How difficult is that for you?
I've never ever acknowledged the pedestal to start with. It does not exist.
Because you can only fall from it.
It doesn't exist, because I don't put anyone on a pedestal myself. To me, honestly, everyone is equal. In this room, anywhere we go, we all have our different personalities. We have our personality traits. We have our gifts, our talents, our failures, our failings. But not pedestal level hero worship. I don't think we should do that with anyone. You ask today's young Indian, who's Lata Mangeshkar? Chances are they won't know. I'm talking about people who are 15, 16. They have no idea. So if you're saying that about her, and people across the world worshipped her, you ask them about any great artist, musician, filmmaker, you ask them, Raj Kapoor kaun the? They'll say, oh, Kareena ke grandfathers the. If at all. They won't know his work. They won't know
you'll be
anything about it.
surprised that a lot of people know Shobhaa De kaun hai across the world. And that's
It doesn't matter to me, honestly, Suvir. I'm not putting you on. It's never been a concern of mine.
good. That's why I love you.
Yeah. And I don't believe in this icon business either. I've just lived my life, and I think I lived it.
And you created icons with your magazines. You created,
That I
published.
enjoy doing. That's fun. I mean, that's spotting talent and
Celebrity you made people into.
acknowledging talent, recognizing talent.
But you are the talent
I
who
love that.
found them.
I like that. It's an adventure. And I think there are a lot of unsung heroes in life who never get that break, who never get that chance to be able to bring that out and share it with a public who may recognize it at some point. Gives me a thrill.
You created the Bollywood magazines. You created the idea of having a celebrity, a socialite.
Well, Celebrity was a title of a magazine I started. It didn't work because I ran out of money. But that was a title,
But we
the
all
name
read
of a
it and it was
celebrity, a
incredible.
society. So yeah, I think it's important to give due where it's, or to recognize talent and give the person their due. And a lot of people are very mean-spirited and chote dil ke log, they feel so threatened by another talent in the room that they'll do anything to keep that person down. I mean, you see it on the sports field, you see it, tennis players, they're
You
so
said
savage.
competition, I don't compete.
Savage.
So you have also created your own imprint. You have now an imprint that you can...
I've had it for a while. Yeah.
That is generosity too, that you're finding talent that you want to put into...
No, it's not generous at all. It's not at all. I'm generous again. I'm so sorry. I seem to be contradicting you so much.
I love it.
I just feel there's condescension in that word. To say, I'm so generous towards someone. No, you are saying you are terrific. And, I'm so proud to be publishing you. It's not generous.
And exactly
It's
what
good
I wanted
business.
you to tell us, because that is who you are. You see talent, you promote it, you support it. More than promote, you support it.
Must.
And thank you for always doing that.
Must.
Your bachas, you have 6 of them. What do they mean to you? And you have grandchildren, oh God.
Oh gosh.
And I have to remember their names in sequence.
And even I find it difficult sometimes. Their ages, I mix them up quite often. When that happens, I always pull out my senior citizen card.
Is it?
I forgive myself and tell them to forgive me. I wish for nothing more in my life. They complete me.
How amazing. And thank you for sharing them with us. With me, I feel you're my home. Before you got here, I was telling them this will be the most difficult conversation I'll have because I admire that woman too much. And she sees through me.
I made
clearly.
it easy or difficult or what?
You are easy always. You make people feel wanted, feel comfortable. You've done it through your writing. And your books have been
I'm just
the
so
books
happy to
we
be
grew
on
up
this
with.
show with you.
No,
Really,
but thank
truly.
you. You're an incredible woman. Thank you for being part of my life and for sharing, I hope, sides of you that people didn't know, because I think you just are a full person. Thank you, Shobhaa, for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you all, the whole crew.